Well, yeah, Boosie also said that in certain communities, 100,000 is you're rich. You're not thinking long term. For me and Boosie, 100,000 is nothing. Like literally, it makes no difference in our lives. If you put another 100,000 in my bank account, I literally wouldn't do anything.
I think,
but someone who's in a certain financial situation, they think 100,000 they could retire, and that's what Boosie explained to me.
I agree with that, but then also I think you got to add that to the fact that I think it was bigger than the money, because these guys have been trying to kill FBG Duck for damn near 12 years, right? Like, he was the big GD. There's so much prestige attached to catching a body. Von built his whole career off rapping about bodies that he caught. I think these young guys were like, they didn't even think about it. They just thought like, yo, I'm going to be one of the guys that catches duck, and this is going to be my come up. And a lot of those guys went on to do songs where they're talking about, with ducking no bodies. A few of them guys made songs where they alluded to having been involved in the duck murder. Zell, the young man that took his own life, he had a song where he's basically rapping about what happened. Muwop's got a bunch of songs where he's literally rapping about, he's got that lyric where he says, what was it? A Muwop from the I'm with the get backs, cuz dude from 63rd couldn't get back up. And he's got some other lyric where he's like, when you're the first one out the car, you better, like, when you're the first one out the car, you better get to shooting. You watch that video, he's the first one out the car and he gets to shooting. Like, it was all laid out and it was all about the prestige. And even then, the way they're rapping about it, it's like Muwop. You listen to these songs where he's rapping about the murder, like, the guy's rapping like murder's legal. And I think it was all just about, I killed Duck, I'm getting the respect. This is my come up, like Von's come up. Because this was before, like at the time, Von made it seem like murder was just legal, to be honest, the way that he was moving. And I think that's the guy they were looking up to, and I just don't think they had the foresight. I think it was bigger than the money. I think the money was just a bonus, but the real prestige was, I'm one of the guys that hit Duck, the biggest guy, like I'm a Chicago legend. And that's sad.
Well, now you're a prison legend, so
yeah.
But you're no longer in Chicago, so
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so for the rest of your life, you get to be surrounded by a bunch of men, and they could look up to you for doing this, and you also got a bunch of enemies who are GDs who hate you for it that you got to watch your back with. I don't see a win on any level. Was there any proof at all that Von paid the money for this hit? That any money was distributed to any of these guys?
Money distributed for the hit? No. Von is on camera giving money to the guys before. Von is on camera giving these guys all O-block chains in the weeks after. I think the Icebox chains, or the first appearance of those O-block chains from Icebox that were given to those guys, I want to say like August 16th, which would have been 12 days after Duck was murdered.
Oh.
So like everyone's, like Duck gets killed and then suddenly a bunch of guys start getting chains. And I don't want to say that the chains were just for the people that killed Duck, because people were getting chains that were seemingly not involved. But like Muwop had the chain, a couple of other guys, Duck dies and a chain was given afterwards. Again, you can't say definitively like that chain was specifically kill Duck and I'll get you a chain. I think the chains were already on order, but the whole thing was just like keep it real, like on some Rico shit, like this was the criminal organization. These guys were putting in work. They ended up getting chains. They ended up getting their music pushed. And I don't think it was some like contract killing of like, all right, 100 grand, whoever gets Duck, first person to get him gets the money. I think it was more some shit of like, yo, I got 100, like, I got 100 on deck for who's putting in work and like, who's doing what. There were other things going on. Obviously, there was the guy, Get Right, or Tukaville Man, who got killed in 2018 before Von had really taken off. But, as soon as that murder happens, like was on Instagram Live making fun of him, saying, what just happened? We just caught a two-piece. So there was an innocent man that got killed. They didn't know he was innocent. Talking about, yeah, we got a two-piece. Von even said, as they say in that live, like, the guy was called Can't Get Right. And there was people in the comments on the live saying, can't get up. And Von was like, damn, you coming up with stuff better than us. Maybe you guys should start killing people. It's like he saw that as his own body, and that was a 2018 murder that supposedly Muwop may have been involved in. And so it's like, I definitely, I don't think it's a case of 100K in a briefcase, but I think it's a case of like, yo, there's 100K on the table. Like, who's putting in work? Who wants a chain? Who's repping the gang? And unfortunately, now all those guys are in jail. But ultimately, as sad, as messed up as it is, like, that's what's supposed to happen. That's what the justice system's all about. You can't be going downtown and shooting people up. These guys got so wrapped up in this drill, gang banging, I'm just going to kill whoever I want lifestyle, that they forgot that murder is illegal. That's just how, it's crazy.
Well, especially in certain areas. This is essentially the Rodeo Drive or the Fifth Avenue of Chicago. There's $1 billion worth of business on that street. You're not going to sit there and make all these businesses feel like they can't make their money because a bunch of guys from a nearby neighborhood are shooting up the street in broad daylight. No, like there's going to be calls from CEOs and so forth to the police department and the FBI saying, y'all need to fix this because our sales have been down because of this nonsense. This is no longer just a little neighborhood thing and it can be brushed under the table. It's making, an FBG Duck was somebody who had essentially hundreds of millions of streams and was known. Yes, he wasn't, Chief Key for Lil Durk, but he was still a prominent Chicago rapper, especially from the GDs. So I was sad, man. It was a sad day for me when I heard about that. I was really just depressed for a few days because it's like I'd been begging this guy to get the fuck up out of here, and he would not listen to me. And I'm on record with this shit. Like I could have had a private conversation with him about this, but no, I'm on camera and I want you to try to justify staying here after you'd been shot, after you'd been stabbed, after your brother just got killed, after a bunch of your friends are losing their lives. Like there's no reason for you to be here. Yes, you're not rich, but you see even the King Yellows of the world, they move away even when they're broke and they're still alive in places like Vegas because they're not surrounded by their enemies.